Hello, everyone, and welcome to this audio fan commentary on Spider-Man 3, or Spider-Man Tree, if you're in a different part of the world than I am. Okay, right, Spider-Man 3. So yeah, we did commentaries on the first two movies, directed by Sam Raimi. This one is also directed by Sam Raimi. They're on my Ollie Pajak channel if you wish to watch them. And Jack was also involved. Please subscribe to Jack. This movie was released in 2007 and was the third and final movie of the trilogy, and also Tobey Maguire's last time playing Spider-Man. Sad face. So yeah, and just like the other commentaries, this is not for financial gain. We're just fans commentating on this. And if you want to follow with us, you can. If you put your Blu-ray or DVD into 0, then press play when we press play, because we can't show the footage of the movie for legal reasons. So, yes, Jack, I think it's worthy to say, first of all, hello, Jack. Thanks for joining me today. And secondly, I think it's fair to say that Spider-Man 3 is a very... it wasn't very well received when it came out. It still doesn't have a very good response. It is the least regarded of the trilogy. Although some people have come to defend it. So, you know, and I hope that us two can be two of those people. I mean, do you have any sort of thoughts about that before we start?
Not really. I wonder if Lee's seen this.
Well, he might. I mean, I don't know. He commented on the last one, but I removed his comment. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So that answers that question. So yeah, let's just get right into it, shall we? Spider-Man 3. So do you want to do the countdown, Jack, or shall I do it?
I think you should.
All right then, if you insist. Right, 3, 2, 1, play. And again, we get the title sequence of the movie.
Oh.
I think this one looks the best on Blu-ray, you know? This one, I mean, it is the most recent one, but of the three. Mm. And this title sequence goes back to the blue, although it's like dark blue. It's like navy blue this time. I kind of like the Spider-Man 2 title sequence where it was red. But, I mean, I don't know if they could have combined red and blue for this, but I see what they did here because they've added a bit more black into the title sequence.
Yeah. I don't think the titles are as good this time. I like the drawings in the second one, but the title sequence is better than the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I do like these ones. I mean, that they've used actual footage from the previous two films, which is good. I mean, they're trying to keep it concise, but I do think the drawings look better from an artistic point of view. Yeah, I guess they wanted to do something different, so I still think the titles are pretty good, actually, and yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, they changed the music a bit as well.
Rosemary Harris, bless her.
Oh yeah. For me, the only thing that ruins these titles is the black effects. You know, the black of the symbiote, the black gloop. Some of the effects in the titles don't look like they're finished, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, generally the CGI across the movie is good, but yeah, like this bit here with all the goo, yeah, I don't really get it. Like, it's a bit random.
I know Sam Raimi doesn't like Spider-Man 3, but I think it's great. I think it's underrated. I mean, yeah, of course, the first two are the best, but this is an underrated film.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I quite enjoyed it when I saw it in the cinema, but my heart always belongs to Spider-Man 2 as the best of the three. And yeah, nice that they used clips of the train fight, but yeah, Spider-Man 3 is definitely the weakest of the trilogy, but I don't think it's terrible like some people say it is. But the problem is it's just so overstuffed with plot. They try to accomplish too much in one film, and I think some people said splitting the movie into 2 films would have been better. I mean, perhaps, yeah, I can see that point. But yeah.
I mean, oh, here we go.
It's me, Peter Parker.
He's swinging.
I've come a long way from being the boy who was bit by a spider. Back then,
I mean, I think it's fair to say Sam Raimi had a pretty hard time making this film. He received a lot of interference from the studio, and I think that should be considered when reviewing this film, or if anyone does review it and critique it, that not all of the decisions really were Raimi's. Like the inclusion of Venom wasn't Raimi's choice, and I'm sure a lot of other things weren't Raimi's choice either.
Yeah.
Top of my class.
It's nice that the film starts out on a bit more of a happier note than the second one, because the second film, a lot of that time is spent with Peter stressed and trying to figure out where he is in life. Whereas this, his life is pretty much perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Gwen Stacy, yeah.
Yeah, they kind of throw Gwen in out of nowhere. Like, I don't know why she's really in the movie other than to be a love interest.
And I'm in love.
Yeah.
The girl in my dreams.
I mean, I do have to say though, first I saw her, she was pretty fit as Gwen Stacy.
Oh no, she is absolutely. She's a gorgeous girl, and it's not her fault that her character is just so unnecessary, just underwritten.
Miss Watson, take a ticket for me? Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. It's funny. The third film almost reverses Peter and MJ a bit. The fact that in the second film MJ was kind of on top of the world, whereas this, she's actually she kind of takes a bit of a dive because they let her go from the play, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the review makes it out like she was god awful, but I didn't think it's that bad. I know Kirsten Dunst is trying to kind of play it down so it's not her best thing ever, but you know, it's not like she's singing "I can't recall who said it." You know, it's not like that.
I actually think she's quite good in this.
She does a bit of singing in this film. It's a lovely song as well. I can't remember. I'm assuming this is like a musical that she's in. Obviously, I think it's called Manhattan Memories. I think that's what it's called, but I don't know it very well.
He's no longer that empty seat.
Yeah. Oh god, yes. Harry.
Ugh, he looks a bit pervy.
Yeah, I think to be fair, Harry's always he's always fancied her as well, but yeah, because they did date each other in the first one, but it never went anywhere. Now Harry definitely wants to be with her. Like, what is it about MJ that is so attractive? I don't get it. You know.
Well, Kirsten Dunst is pretty attractive.
Well, actually, to say Peter's life is perfect, not quite. I mean, the only thing is his best friend is kind of, you know, turning against him. So, yeah, awkward.
I'm your friend, Harry. Your friend. I cared about your father.
I'm your friend, Harry. I mean, he is his friend. I mean, he didn't kill, you know, his dad, you know, and Harry just blames him for that, you know.
Yeah, Harry should really fire his butler for not telling him the one thing that he needed to know this whole time.
And maybe Harry wouldn't have been facially scarred in the first place if his fucking butler didn't,
Yeah.
come out and say that earlier.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I've watched the outtakes of this film, and there's actually a lot of funny moments with the actor trying to say that line. The blade that pierced his body came from his gilder, and is like, no, it's glider. And they're like, oh, right. It's yeah. It's nice that Peter's a bit happier, but it's all going to go downhill from here. Sadly. And
Yeah.
Harry decides to get high on gas. So no.
Like his dad, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think but it doesn't seem to affect Harry as much. And then they give him amnesia. So this whole thing is kind of a waste of time, really.
Yeah, he doesn't go insane like his dad did, like psychopathic.
Yeah, he doesn't start talking to himself.
Yeah. That's true.
Then again, I can't imagine James Franco doing that, though. Can you?
No.
Ooh, spider sex.
This is a nice scene where they're looking up at the stars.
That is nice. And actually, I think they've written MJ's character a little bit better in this film. In the second film, she was a real bitch, But in this one, she's a bit more mellow. I think it's because they've given her a few more things to worry about. The fact she gets let go from a play, she's not doing so well in life, and also once again she's having relationship problems. She can only hold down a man for so long.
Yeah. Oh.
I can't deny though.
His spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah, it's not the only thing that's tingling. But I can't deny it. This is lazy. Like the black symbiote just falls from the sky. I mean, really? Come on. It's you could have been a bit more inventive than that. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god, we got a symbiote.
Yeah. I can't believe Peter still has that scooter thing. Or is it a new one?
Yeah. I don't know, but like he even kept the helmet from that pizza delivery thing in the second one. I was like, surely you have to give that back, but
yeah. And here we're introduced.
Here we got Sandman.
Sandman. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all right. No, I was just saying it was Sandman.
Yes, so otherwise known as Flint Marko, who I think is a very misunderstood character. Let's put it that way. I mean, I like Thomas Hayden Church in this film. I mean, he has got quite a serious face, but I still think he performed this part well. The fact that he's just a man. He's just a normal guy trying to provide for his daughter who's sick, and he ended up doing bad things, because of that, because he needed the money. He ended up stealing it. But I really like this scene when we first see him. We really sympathize with him straight away. When he, like when he sees his daughter and the music cuts in, and I feel really sorry for this guy. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, you do feel bad for him. And I actually like his storyline, the Sandman, of him trying to look after his daughter and stuff. I mean, I like that, and I like the character of the Sandman in this film, Flint Marko.
Yeah. The only bad thing is that it's never really resolved. I mean, it's a shame. We don't really find out if he does cure his daughter or not. So I do think that we could have like at least spent a few minutes to find out if he did cure his daughter or not. But oh well, it's too late now anyway. The film's long since been released.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole.
This is a good film.
Yeah. I mean, the whole sort of tying him to the Uncle Ben death as well was interesting. I mean, frankly, if they hadn't have done that, he probably wouldn't have had a lot of place in the film. But I mean, that's generally quite dramatic as well. He's got them a lot of emotional drama in this film, and he never asked for any of this. He never asked to be a criminal. He just kind of fell into it, and yeah, the whole death with Uncle Ben thing obviously is revisited here, but I think it's done in a good way.
I like this storyline with his daughter, and this is a good scene where his wife's talking to him, and he says, it wasn't like that when she said, "You even killed a mom," And we find out later about that.
Yeah, I know they didn't resolve the storyline, but I mean, you've got to love moments like this, and Raimi directs great. I mean, people who hate this film really, really should reassess it, I think, because it's really not that bad. I mean, yes, it's heavily flawed, but moments like this make me really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's true. I like that line. I'm not a bad person. I just have bad luck.
Oh God, it really is a crappy scooter, isn't it?
I think that is a scooter from the first one. Sorry, the second one. Why does he still have it?
I thought it was destroyed when the car ran over it in Spider-Man 2.
I don't know, maybe he got it repaired.
Yeah. So Aunt May's moved into this tiny apartment then. Oh, I suppose that makes sense. I mean, she's only living on her own, so...
Yeah.
The thing is that confuses me that when Uncle Ben died, surely he would have had a pension or some kind of money. But, surely that would have helped her sort of keep the house, but apparently not. She couldn't pay the bills and had to move out, which is a shame.
Yeah. Oh. Going to put Spider-Man before himself. So it was Mary Jane before Spider-Man.
Oh God, spider babies. I mean, you just know if people have kids, they'll end up with 8 legs.
Could you imagine if Flint Marco had another kid and she turned into sand?
God, yeah. Don't know how he would actually keep his dick completely whole. The molecules would just, disintegrate and then reform all the time. It would be kind of coarse, rough, irritating, and it would get everywhere.
Maybe that's what Anakin was talking about. Maybe he had sex with Sandman.
It would have been so fucking funny to have Hayden Christensen be cast as the Sandman just because of that fucking line.
God. Peter, I didn't mean to kill him.
I really like this scene as well. Like, and Rosemary Harris was delightful as Aunt May, and I love that, when she's talking about Uncle Ben and how he proposed to her, and when she gives him the ring, and it's just, the emotional drama in these movies is always really good. I've always really appreciated that, and even in this film, Spider-Man 3, which is considered to be hated by a lot of people, I really like this. She gives him her blessing, and she's like, take the ring and propose to her, do it, even though MJ doesn't really deserve it. But there you go.
Yeah, well, if we did marry MJ, there'll be no more bitching.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Well, as long as she doesn't ditch him at the altar, he's fine.
Runs off with somebody else.
Yeah, she'll run off with fucking Jameson next. Well, here we get the first action scene, which is... I really like this scene,
Some last CGI there is a bit bad.
Yeah, it has dated a bit. I mean, I like the fact that Peter's not wearing the suit in this action scene. It's just a nice moment, and it makes the fight more personal, because it's obviously Harry and Peter fighting.
Can you imagine if somebody saw this? Who's that guy swinging with that web? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I think Spider-Man 3 definitely ramps up the action. It has the most action of all three films.
Yeah. I think some people like that there's more action. Like it's Harry's favorite film, that Spider-Man film.
Yeah. Oh, Harry, as in Harry Thomas. Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Harry who was
Yeah,
on
not Harry.
screen.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. See, he tries to explain, but
Oh.
Harry's not listening. He's like, he killed himself, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah. Some of that CGI is a bit dated, but yeah.
yeah.
Is it me? But like Spider-Man 2 seemed to have a bit better CGI than Spider-Man 3 does. But
Yeah, I guess because this movie had a few production problems and Raimi was sort of up against it really, so I guess maybe they didn't have time to clean it all up before delivery because there was so much that they were throwing into the film. So yeah,
it is a bit ridiculous how Peter doesn't have any scars. He's been hit against these brick walls, thrown through this glass, and he's okay. But
yeah. The only scar he's got is the one across his torso, which is where Harry ripped his shirt, and then he's got a big cut there. And then amazing how he also catches the ring just as it's about to fall right on the ground.
Yeah, bit cheesy, but yeah.
It's a good action scene though.
It is.
It's just a shame how it ends with Harry losing his memory. I think doing the amnesia thing was kind of a bit ridiculous because it would have been great to see this conflict carry on in the film, seeing the two of them up to the point when Harry finds out that Peter didn't kill his dad, But, I still think Spider-Man 3 is entertaining, but like it's a missed opportunity. By giving him amnesia, it's like they didn't know what to do because they were just throwing so much into the film, especially with the other two villains.
Yeah. I think Spider-Man 3 is a bit overstuffed, if I'm being honest, but I don't think we needed 3 villains.
Yeah. It's just, the trouble is, I don't know who's the main villain. I can't tell whether it's Harry, Venom, or Sandman. But then again, because Sandman's not really a villain, he's an anti-villain, and Harry loses his memory. Venom doesn't really... Eddie Brock's there for the film, but he doesn't turn into Venom till the end, so I'm confused.
Yeah. I think all 3 of them are... I don't really think there's a main villain. They're just all villains, but...
How's he, how... when he turned around and he was shooting Harry, how was he swinging? Or was he just, falling?
Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh. Yeah, no, in reality, I think he'd probably be dead, but...
Yeah. How much more dramatic would that have been if Peter had killed Harry? That would have made for some great drama for the rest of the film. Although it would have been a cop-out, really, for killing off Harry so early. But, yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Giving him CPR.
Hmm.
How are you?
It is dramatic. I'll give it that. But why did they have to give him amnesia? It's a waste.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm.
But Marco.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Captain Stacy, Gwen's father. He's in the film as well.
Yeah. A Sandman, he's on the run.
Yeah. I mean, originally, Stan Lee said in an interview for this film, he said he thought at one point he was going too far when he created Sandman. But I think it works. It's a nice idea, him. I mean, with the emotional sort of story, it kind of adds a bit more to him. But the idea of his sort of molecules changing and his DNA sort of changing into sand, it's a bit strange, but it sort of more or less works. And it's a cool concept.
I mean, it was in the comic, so
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a change in the silicon mass. There'll be a bird. It'll fly away.
What? Surely you would question that. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yeah. It's a bird. It'll fly away.
Yeah.
It's a bit stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, because all birds,
Even
wear
as a
green
kid-
jumpers.
Even as a kid seeing that in the cinema, I was thinking, wait, they would question that. Come on.
Yeah, that is really dumb. I mean, it's funny, but it's like, come on, Raimi. I think that's a little bit ridiculous.
I do like the effect, though, when we see him turn into Sandman.
Yeah. It's weird, but it does work.
The effects here still really hold up.
Yeah. I mean, it's only really sort of some of the earlier stuff which is a bit bad. But later on, when we see him rise up from the crater, I mean, that scene looks absolutely terrific. The CGI there looks brilliant.
Yeah. Poor Peter.
Yeah. Well, it was his fault.
Yeah.
Let's say recently, though. How recently? I mean, obviously, by this point, I think.
Maybe I should.
I mean, I don't know, because obviously Norman died, I'm assuming, quite a few years ago, like maybe 2-3 years ago. So that's not really recent, I'd say. That's a fair way off for short-term memory. If it was a long-term memory loss, then yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a little confusing. I don't know how short-term memory loss works.
Yeah. It is an interesting concept, though, that he sort of gets the amnesia and he sort of it's his friend again, I guess, but yeah, because he doesn't remember.
Yeah. In a way, I guess Peter's kind of no longer shitting himself. But, I think the way Harry's memory comes back is stupid, though. The fact that he has a vision from his father, and then that jogs his memory. Like, what? It's out of completely out of nowhere. It just comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like Spider-Man 3, but there are aspects of it which are stupid and could have been more worked out in the script. But yeah, I could still find this movie entertaining. But I think just the plot surrounding Harry could have been rewritten slightly.
Yeah. Well, controversial opinion, but I think you and me would. I mean, I certainly would take them over the Amazing Spider-Man films, but we'd also take them over the Tom Holland films.
Yes, that's true. Purely because it has dramatic weight.
Yeah. That's one problem I have with the Tom Holland films. Even though they're good, they don't really have any dramatic weight. So they're not great films. They're good, but they're not on the same level.
speaking of dramatic weight, this scene is probably my favorite scene in the whole film. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
The music, the visuals, the fact that it just tells the story brilliantly, and you really feel his struggle in this scene, and he sees what's happened to him, and he's completely broken, and then he sees the locket, and then he carries on. I mean, this is brilliantly directed.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite scenes in the film as well.
Funny the whole film.
And the effects are, and the film, like the effects here are just like still so good. They still hold up really well.
If only the rest of the film was directed like this, then we would have a pretty amazing third film.
Yeah. If the rest of the film was like this, it probably could have been the best in the trilogy. But sadly, it's the weakest.
Yes, that's sad, but this scene is just so powerful. And look at him, that shot there when he's got his hands on his head and he's like, oh my god, what has happened to me? But he's still got to fight to save his daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, at first he can't grab the locket, and then that pisses him off.
Yeah. This is why he's not
and he's
a villain.
able to grab it. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. It's a really great moment. And even though he's made of sand, you could like see the emotion in his face.
Yeah, you can feel it as well, like as he's sort of his molecules in his body are reforming, and he's getting up, and it's like, yes, I'm going to do this for my daughter, and I'm not going to let this stop me.
Yeah. Like I'm going to turn back to normal. Yeah.
I don't like the way the music just changes there, like trying to make out that he's evil. Like, what? Like, it's like after that beautiful moment, why change the music there? It's a bit strange, but because I don't see Sandman as a villain. I honestly don't see him as a villain. I know he teams up with Venom at the end, but yeah.
I think he's a tragic, I don't know, anti-hero, anti-villain. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like Doc Ock in the second film.
Yeah.
I actually think Spider-Man 3 is Kirsten Dunst's best performance, in the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
You were in the first row.
You were great. That's a critic. This is something you have to get used to.
Hello, Sam Harrison. Thank you for once again appearing in the live chat. Well, I wouldn't say racing through the commentaries.
Well,
we have taken a few days between 2 and 3. But to be fair, Sam, we do have the time. I mean, we're in lockdown, so we can't really do anything else.
we are in lockdown.
Yeah. But no, thank you, Sam, and I'm glad that you agree with us. I mean, I honestly am kind of surprised when people say they hate this film and they say it's like the worst Spider-Man movie. Like, they don't appreciate some of the moments, like the one we just saw with Sandman. Like, it's honestly, I mean, yeah, Spider-Man 3 is heavily flawed. It is messy in places, but come on, it's way better than the Amazing Spider-Man films. Way better.
Yeah.
And I know that we sort of grew up with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, and I mean, for me, he will always be the best Spider-Man, and nothing will change that. But for me, the Tom Holland movies just don't have the heart. They don't have the dramatic weight that this one does. And I'm not shitting on the Tom Holland ones, but they're just like fun high school movies. That's kind of what they are, mixed in with the MCU stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Symbiote. Yeah, this scene is interesting where he saves Gwen Stacy. I mean, the whole love triangle thing about the film, I mean, it's just a bit unnecessary, really, but, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And also, since when was Gwen Stacy a model? She was never a model in the comics. I don't know why they changed her character. I guess it was to make her seem somewhat of a bimbo or something, but then again, I don't know. One minute she's a model, then she's in Peter's science class, and then like I don't know. I mean, because in the Amazing Spider-Man, obviously she's like smart. She's a smart science student. I don't know what this film was trying to do with that character. It's like they couldn't decide what to do. I don't know. But Bryce Dallas Howard does give a decent performance with what she has.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I mean, this train sequence is pretty good. Yeah.
This is a good action scene, I will admit. She's literally hanging on the telephone.
Yeah. I love the fact that you get to see a shot of what's below, so that's that great sense of scale. I mean, Raimi's always been good at that, and he's definitely amped up the scale for the third film.
There's Eddie Brock. Oh, God.
Yeah. Go for fate. Oh, sorry, Toe for Grace.
I mean, he tries, but I'm just not a fan of Eddie Brock or Venom in this film. They're just pointless. I mean, Sam Raimi didn't want Venom in this film, and it was studios. So I mean,
Yeah.
you can't really blame Sam Raimi for the inclusion of Venom here. I mean, I think Venom kind of feels last minute in this film as well, like he wasn't originally intended to be there. So.
Yeah, exactly, which is a shame. I think the problem is also Topher Grace. I mean, he's not a bad actor, but he's miscast. I mean, to me, he comes off as a bit annoying as Eddie Brock. And again, if you were going to Venom, include him more. Maybe if Venom was the main villain, that might have been something, because Venom is like a fan favorite. So, I mean, I know we've got the Venom film now, but the character to me still hasn't been done right. I mean, I think the Venom film is overrated. I think it's all right, but it's not great. But anyway, in this film, Venom isn't treated very well.
I think Venom's an underrated film, but I mean, I thought Tom Hardy was good as Eddie Brock's last Venom. I mean, maybe they need another film to sort of improve on it, but
yeah, I think the Venom sequel is coming. It might even be coming later this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for face. Oh, sorry, Toe for Grace.
Tofu Grace.
Tofu Grace.
Oh, she fancies Spider-Man.
Oh god, this scene is hilarious. Jameson's pills.
It's hip, it's now, it's how, and wow, and wow.
And how.
Yeah. The scene with the pills is very funny.
Thank you.
Oh, that a blonde girl beside Raimi's brother. She's pretty fit.
Oh yeah.
Not that one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
People really hate this film. I mean, oh, geez, you know, scenes like this are just brilliant. You know.
Oh god. It's called something nice and easy. Oh god. Terrible.
Oh, just shut up, Topher Grace. I kind of feel like he's playing himself in the film more than Eddie Brock.
He is kind of annoying in this film. Yeah.
He likes my shirt.
That's my shirt.
Thanks.
Parker.
I got you this. You got me this. How'd you get that? I didn't see it. Where did you get that high?
Flagpole.
Congratulations, son. We'll use your shot. I'll pay you $50. All right, JJ. I'm a man. I know more about Mexican fishing. Any photographer.
Move it in on his job. No offense, flagpoles.
No offense, flagpoles. He's such a suck up to Jameson.
Licking his ass.
Yeah.
God.
You fired him.
He's right, John. He's been with us for years. He's done a great job. You want to anybody care about what I want? Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, I really miss J.K. Simmons in these movies.
I'm glad they brought him back for the recent one, even
Yeah.
if it was at the end. But yeah.
Well, I doubt they'll ever have Tom Holland get to the stage where he works for the Daily Bugle. But if Jameson, if he can do those little cameos again, that'd be quite nice. You know, just a nice thing to, reference back to this trilogy. You know, so he was one of the best characters in it.
You know,
Stanley.
one person can make a difference. Enough said.
He looks great there.
Yeah. That's probably his best cameo out of the trilogy.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't really notice him in the first one, but I know in the second one he pulls the girl away and then the brick falls down during the bank fight. But yeah, no, it's nice that they gave him a line.
In the first and second one, he's just really in the crowd and reacting, and I think Stanley was pissed off with that. So I think that's probably why they gave him like a bigger cameo role in the third one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he deserves it. I mean, he's the creator. He created Spider-Man, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Basketball.
amazing that Harry doesn't really have a job. He has Oscorp, so he just kind of works from home. Although at the moment, I don't know what's going to happen with that because he's lost his memory, so that's going to be a bit difficult.
I always appreciate how you helped me through high school.
He's just a rich arsehole.
Yeah, like his dad.
He's just a rich kid who can, do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, he was very privileged.
Watch your game in the kitchen. Get something to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, hands up.
Whoa.
See that? Still got the moves.
Still got the moves.
Did you see that? Oh, God.
Do you think James Franco's overplayed that a bit? The whole, the fact that he's kind of all happy and go lucky now, and he's almost playing him like he's a bit high. Like, do you see that?
Yeah. I do like James Franco in these films, but I mean, it's kind of weird how sometimes he's a bit much, or sometimes he's underacts it. But
yeah, it kind of the levels of his performance do change a bit. But speaking of performances, this scene is a good example of the acting industry. It cutthroat. Literally, 1 minute you're in and you're doing brilliantly, and the next minute they just cut you out without even telling you, and it's yeah. I mean, I do feel sorry for Mary Jane in this scene, actually. You know.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, what bastards? I mean, they just didn't even say, didn't even say sorry,
Yeah, they didn't call her up.
Drop
We're
it.
going to let you go, but they just recast her without telling her. So no wonder.
Yeah, and I feel bad for her as well. Like when they're clapping, they think it's her they're clapping, but it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's sad. And then they changed the sign as well. I thought that was it's quite a sad moment, really.
Yeah, no, it is sad for Mary Jane. I mean, I didn't think she was that bad of a singer, but yeah.
No, but obviously, clearly, no one beyond the first row heard her. Apparently, according to the review. Oh God.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, Peter's in this film is, I suppose, he does become a bit of a douche. I think he becomes a bit cocky, and because he's getting so much good stuff and good attention as Spider-Man, he kind of undervalues Mary Jane, and he sort of underappreciates her and what she's going through. But, yeah.
Bloody Topher Grace.
Yeah. And we had a coffee, Eddie.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're not so mad at me, are you?
No, Peter, I'm proud of you.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, at least she's not. Yeah, I think you're right. She probably is the best written here. She's not like a bitch like in the second one. I mean, I mean, even though she's had some bad luck with her acting, she's still proud of him as Spider-Man, and it's a nice scene.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could say in the second one she was sort of unlikable, but I think there is an argument to be made for that because of how she treats Peter in that one. But then again, the roles reverse in this film, and I think he treats her a bit like shit in this film, especially with the scene coming up with Gwen. But yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't have kissed her, but yeah.
Nice to see the Sandman again.
Yeah. I mean, he's got so much sand he could make his own fucking beach.
Yeah. He can build his own castle.
Yeah.
And I suppose it is a bit dumb. Like, he can clearly feel you walking on him, and but before you stick the shovel in, he can see what you're going to do. So doing this was a bit stupid.
Oh, whoa, shit.
Yeah. I mean, all the CGI for the stat is good.
Yeah. He's going to try and give him a high five.
Oh, yeah. High five from the Sandman.
I mean, that wouldn't hurt him. I mean, he's made out of sand. Oh, you made him Ang Lee. You wouldn't like him when he's Ang Lee.
Oh, God, yeah. Trip to the beach, anyone?
Sam said this is actually the first Spider-Man film he ever saw.
Well, I don't remember. I think I saw the first one. Definitely I saw the first one before the second one, but I don't think I saw it in the cinema. I had it on VHS and I watched the hell out of it. But I did see the second film and the third film in the cinema.
Yeah, same. I remember seeing the second and the third one in the cinema as well. I think the one I remember the most clearly is the third one in the cinema because it's the most recent. But I do remember the second one as well, seeing that in the cinema. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, James Franco, this might be his weakest performance. It's not that he's bad, but I just think he kind of overplays Harry when he's good. You know, when he's got amnesia and he's always smiling and doing that kind of cheekiness. Like he's just playing it too cheeky. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't feel natural. And yeah,
he should just play Harry. He should just play Harry like in the first two, except his amnesia. You know, he doesn't need to smile all the time. You know.
Yeah, it's just too happy clappy, if you know what I mean. I mean, in the first one, you know, he had some pretty good scenes, and you know, he just played it as how he should have done. In the second, you had to be a bit more angry, and he did that well. But yeah, with this, because they gave him the amnesia plot, I guess he didn't really know what to
do. I love the way he's giving them all like high fives.
Shazam!
He has been a bit of a show off, but yeah, there we go.
He's enjoying his glory.
They love me.
Yeah, the audience of why are they egging him on to kiss her? I'm like,
I shouldn't have done that. I mean, he's got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He didn't think about what he was doing.
Ain't happy with that.
He certainly is getting a shot of this. Funny that the kid was like, "No, Spider-Man, don't do it, no."
You'll be hearing from Mary Jane later. Why'd you kiss her?
Yeah. Honestly, Peter's such a. You know, there was a dick move. I mean, you know, Peter does make some bad decisions in this film. I mean, they only did it to cause like a love triangle, which, you know, they didn't need to do really. I mean, sure, have tension between Peter and MJ, but the kiss was pointless. And you know, trying to like recreate the upside down kiss from the first one was just wasn't needed.
He's a bit of a sleaze in this film.
Yeah. So obviously then he asks Gwen out when Mary Jane finishes with him.
Oh. There's Spidey.
Jigs up, pal.
I don't want to hurt you. Leave now.
I guess you haven't heard. I'm the sheriff around these parts.
He's really cocky.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You're getting in mine, Lee. It's like a surfboard. Lol. Surf's up, dude. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool that Spider-Man 3 has most action series, because even though I love Spider-Man 2, it does sort of lack a bit in action. I mean, compared to... Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think with Spider-Man 2, because the plot was focused on the Spider-Man No More stuff, they had to compromise a bit with the action, but I think they had enough. I mean, they saved most of the action till the third act, which was fine. But they had the bank fight and a couple of other bits. So I thought it was
yeah, that was
fine.
Yeah. No, I still love Spider-Man 2. It's my favorite of the trilogy. Whoa!
Where did all these guys come from?
Very sandy.
Mr. Sandman, bring me your dream. Bum, 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 bum. Should they use that song?
Yeah, that would be funny. I really love the scene, though, where he's trying to propose to her, and you can tell she's still pissed off.
Yeah.
Ooh, Spidey scored.
But we get probably Bruce Campbell's best cameo of the trilogy when he plays the maitre d' in the restaurant.
Yeah, that is so funny. So fucking funny.
He's got an amusing French accent, and yeah, it's just such a great comedic sequence, as well as it obviously being Peter and MJ sort of heart to heart.
I mean, the mustache and everything. He looks like John Cleese is Basil Fawlty from Fawlty Towers, but yeah.
I don't know whether he was trying to like model his accent on Peter Sellers, from the Pink Panther. I mean, maybe there's a certain, I mean, sort of the emphasis on some of the words you can sort of tell, but I know Sellers was he was English, wasn't he? But
Yeah.
Obviously Campbell is American, but it's a pretty good attempt at the French accent. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a chin? Imagine if he asked Peter.
Check out.
Yes. I want to do something very special.
I am French.
I am French. Hello. This is so funny.
Magnifique.
Magnifique.
Yeah, and it was all going so well.
My life, monsieur.
Monsieur. Check out.
Manuel. It's such a funny scene. This scene, it's definitely Bruce Campbell's best cameo of the 3 films.
Oh yeah, it's probably the funniest scene just in the film generally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably his best cameo as well because he gets the most to do in this. In the first and second, he didn't get a lot to do.
Definitely.
Oh.
You know, I actually really.
Well, this is like. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was just going to say, I do actually really side with MJ in this scene, though. I mean, she's totally in the right. I mean, he shouldn't have stuck his tongue down Gwen's throat. You know, that was a real dick move, and she is right to be absolutely pissed with him, to be honest. And, you know, no wonder he didn't get to the proposal part.
He should have kissed her on the cheek or something, not tongue to tongue.
Yeah. I mean, the audience were egging him on, which was stupid, and then he just said, "Lay one on me," and then she's like, "Really?" But she just grabbed, she had to grab him and kiss him, but still, he initiated it, so it's his fault.
Yeah, I do think he develops a bit of an ego in this film, even as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, even before he gets the suit. Like, he's, you know, I think he's letting the sort of Spider-Man thing get to his head, but yeah.
I mean, you say he develops a bit of an ego, but a lot of people say he develops a bit of an emo.
Yeah, well, he sort of develops a bit of both.
Isn't it convenient how Gwen is actually, she's just in the same restaurant on the same night that of the same day where they kissed? You know, it's a bit convenient, isn't it?
Very convenient.
And the fact that she says, you know, "Oh, can you bring a picture of my kiss with Spider-Man?" Gwen, it's on every paper in the fucking city. You know, MJ just walked past a newspaper stand with like the image on the front. Go and buy a fucking newspaper. Yeah.
You could have got it anywhere. Jesus.
Plus, he didn't take the blooming picture because he was snogging your face off.
Yeah, he just waves. He's like, no.
No, not yet.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
She's my lab partner. Yeah, right.
Saved her life. She thinks you're a genius and she had to polish his hands on the polish. Where did you notice? And she gives him.
Yeah, I am with Mary Jane in this. He's acting like a dickhead, you know.
Yeah, I'm surprised she doesn't leave him after this.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, he never
Yeah.
apologizes to her as well, which is the worst thing.
I love you. You're my girlfriend. She's the girl in my class, MJ.
Oh God.
Where are you going?
Oh, get the champagne again. Oh.
I remember watching this scene in the cinema, and my dad loved it as well. He was cracking up at this scene.
Yeah.
And they're playing the song that she sang in her play. I mean, you know, that's nice. He went to the effort to do all that, but again, he just didn't think about what he'd done earlier with the kiss. But yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't feel bad for him, but at the same time, he sort of brought it upon himself, you know, acting like a cocky dick, you know, and he said, oh, you know, kids, you know, they run after me in the street saying Spider-Man, like, really letting the fucking Spider-Man thing get to your head.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I understand why, because he spent a long time with the press sort of painting a bad picture of him and people hating him for no reason. So I think he's enjoying the glory while he can, and you know, I don't blame him. But at the same time, yeah, he does develop an ego and he does mistreat his girlfriend, you know, quite badly. But no, the plot moves on. We have another revelation about Uncle Ben's death. How many years on? You know, it's like 2 years on, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Or 3 years, because Spider-Man, actually, well, 5 years, because the first one came out in 2002, so.
Yeah, but I think yeah. I don't know if they actually play it in real time. I suppose they might. I'm not sure how long this one is set after the second one, but I would imagine it's set quite soon because of the Harry plot and all that. But
Oh, yeah, you're probably right, yeah.
I mean, I can't confirm it, obviously, but, you know, I just assume from that point of view.
This is a good scene.
I like that this
You know,
done in black and white, and he's having this nightmare about Flint shooting his uncle.
yeah.
I mean, the music here is really haunting and just very sad.
Yeah. This is very well done.
See, you know, people that hate this film should really reassess it, I think, personally. I mean, there are great moments like this, you know.
For me, it has a lot more depth than the Tom Holland films. I
Yeah.
mean, they're fun, sort of high school. I mean, they're sort of fun high school films, but they don't really have like drama or emotion like the first 3 Spider-Man films.
Yes, and especially more depth than the Amazing Spider-Man films. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, well, the Amazing Spider-Man films could suck my cock, but yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, no, I mean, I suppose they did this. They tied him to Uncle Ben's death to make out that he was a villain. You know, when we obviously have seen a different side to Sandman, and obviously the true revelation about Uncle Ben's death will come at the very end of the film. But still, it's interesting to see how, you know, kind of driven Peter is still with revenge for his uncle's death.
Mm. Ooh.
I made a move and he felt like looking at
I'm not accusing you of anything.
It's sad that
I do like Mary Jane in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the most likable here.
I agree, actually. Yeah, out of the 3 films, this is her best sort of like. This is when they've written her the best. She's just trying to help him, and he's just brushing her away. He's like pushing her aside. He's like, I'm fine. I don't need your help. I can handle this. And he's really, Peter's sort of like this idea he's confronting his sort of demons, and the black suit is sort of like a representation of that. But I mean, it does come in a bit randomly, the whole idea of the black suit, because it just falls from the sky and then it just randomly sits there in his apartment for ages and then attaches itself to his suit. So, yeah, but it's a bit clunkily explained, but it makes for some interesting ideas, I would say. And obviously, very soon that is going to come into the film.
Yeah. I kind of wish they did do Spider-Man 4, because it would be nice if we got to see him tie the knot with Mary Jane, and and I think they were going to have, was it Vulture in that one, or I think so, I don't know, but Spider-Man 4, but yeah, sadly never happened.
I think they were going to have a few villains, I think they considered the Lizard, and they also considered Carnage, which would have been interesting, but hopefully we get Carnage in the Venom sequel, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, they had big plans for the 4th one, apparently.
Yeah, they got fucking Lizard for the Amazing Spider-Man instead, and that was just fucking awful, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would have been alright with it if they changed the Lizard's plan. The fact that he was just like trying to turn everyone into lizards, like, why?
Yeah. How did the symbiote find him? That's what I want to know.
Well, do you remember it? When it fell from the sky, it attached itself to his bike, and then it stayed there for ages, and like it kind of found its way into his room. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then it just randomly waits, and now it comes onto his suit at this time. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. Oh shit. He wouldn't be able to breathe.
Quite an interesting moment. So did he sleepwalk up there?
Yeah, he must have. I don't know.
Yeah, because he seems to have woken up there, hanging upside down from the building.
The symbiote must have brought him there or something.
Probably, yeah. Well, in his sleep. So it's a dramatic reveal.
I mean, the black suit Spider-Man's kind of cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll always prefer the original suit, but I like the idea of the black suit in this film, and yeah, I mean, it could have been explained a bit better, but it's still kind of interesting.
I do think you're right. I do think you're right. Superman 3, I think they got some ideas from Superman 3, like the whole idea of I guess the darker version of Peter in this, kind of like in Superman 3 when you got the dark Superman, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, Peter was already being a bit of a dick in this film anyway, so yeah, I guess he's slightly unlikable, but I mean, in the end, he does obviously realize that he needs to get rid of it, and he needs to, start treating people a lot better, and yeah.
Someone else with his head up his arse.
Yeah.
Says to take the black suit one instead. Bad move.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you get it on your suit, you become addicted. I mean, and it would have been good if Eddie Brock had actually discovered it a bit sooner. Perhaps then maybe Venom's inclusion to the film may have been less pointless.
Yeah. I did like in Venom the fact that they showed you the symbiote talking to Eddie Brock and like sort of persuading him and stuff. That's one thing they didn't do in this. It's just some kind of thing that takes over, but they don't really flesh that out. Like
Burger King.
you know, in the bet. Well,
See, like this moment here, you could have actually had the symbiote maybe attached to Eddie as well. That would have been funny. But...
yeah.
See it jump.
See it jump.
But yeah, no, I perhaps it would have been interesting to have Peter, maybe have Peter have like an inner voice or something, like talking to him, and Tobey Maguire could have done it. He could have been like the voice of the symbiote, like talking to Peter or something. That would have been kind of interesting, but I guess they never explored that idea.
Yeah. It's a bit convenient Eddie Brock has another camera.
Yeah, well, then again, he is a photographer. I suppose he needs to have some backup. If it's his work, you know, he's got to make sure he can actually take pictures. Otherwise, he's got no job.
What was he taking pictures of?
The crime scene, I think.
What do you want from me? Remember Benny Parker? The old man you shot down in cold blood? What does it matter to you anyway?
This is a good fight scene.
Oh, whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, I do think at the end of this fight, the CGI is a bit rubbish when he gets turned into mud.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Ooh. That's a good effect, though, when he puts his head against the train.
It's like he's sanding him down.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
And he uses the sand to like regenerate himself.
Yeah. I think Spider-Man 3 probably has the weakest soundtrack of the three, but it's still good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you said Danny Elfman didn't do the score for this one.
Yeah, it was Christopher Young, but I mean, some of the same themes are used, of course, and there is some great music, but it's just out of the three, it's the weakest, but it's still much better music than The Amazing Spider-Man, I would say. Because in Amazing Spider-Man 2, you've got that stupid dubstep track with Electro, which is a bit weird.
Boing. Weird way that he sort of... Whoa. He's getting flushed away like Roddy.
I mean, I'm sorry, this effect is just embarrassing.
Yeah, that is kind of crap. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, it's
He looks like shit being flushed on a toilet.
Yeah, literally. It just doesn't look convincing, that's all.
Oh god, yeah, here we go, the fucking emo haircut.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but it's Tobey Maguire. Like, it just doesn't suit Tobey Maguire. Like, he tries to make himself look cool.
Why does he do it anyway? Like, he just looks in the mirror and he decides, oh, I'm gonna put my hair down. It's just like shit. Oh, whoa.
Well, yeah, his landlord is back in the film. He's not quite as nasty as he was in the second, but yeah, no, I think to answer your question, I think the symbiote kind of accentuates his moods, like, so that's why he does all the dancing down the street, because it makes him like sort of cooler, and he's allowed to sort of loosen up a bit, and it just also it heightens his aggression. That's what Dr. Connors said, and I guess he just thinks, would change a bit of his look as well, just to compensate that. But yeah, I mean, it is a bit sort of messy in the explanation of it, but yeah, it's entertaining to watch Tobey Maguire try and put on this persona.
What did his landlord say?
He said, "Give me rent." He said, "You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door."
No. I got that the bit afterwards where his dog.
Oh, he says, he's like, he is going good boy, very good boy, you know. But he says it in like a kind of scared way.
Yeah.
Come on, she has to know he's Spider-Man, surely. I mean,
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
yeah, the way she speaks to him, it's like she clearly knows he was there. So, like, you know, how else would he know this information if he wasn't Spider-Man? That's how I look at it. But
Yeah. He is a bit. I don't know what it is with Spider-Man, but it seems like in this film and in the third one, he's just happy to get vengeance. He doesn't care if he kills someone. Oh, you killed my uncle, so I'll just kill you. Like,
yeah, I guess obviously part of that is the symbiote kind of making him more aggressive, but at the same time, yeah, it is a bit like he wants to go on a murder spree. Like, yeah.
you're a psycho,
Yeah.
Peter.
I like that with Aunt May when she says, you know, Uncle Ben wouldn't want us to live with revenge. You know, he wouldn't want us to take revenge for what happened. He just want us to move on, and you know, and I think that's sort of what Peter eventually learns by the end of the film when Sandman tells him the truth, and he says, I'm not asking you to forgive me. I just want you to understand this is what happened, and Peter forgives him. But yeah, poor Mary Jane.
Yeah. Sam just said you guys should do another Doctor Who audio commentary, maybe at some point. But we'll just focus on Spider-Man for tonight.
Yeah. At some point, Sam, yeah, we might do another Doctor Who one. That'd be good. We'll talk about that at some point. Oh yeah, it's like the film just forgot that Harry was in it.
Yeah, and look at him. I'm sorry, but why does he become this like great painter? That's like something you put in a fucking art exhibition, you know?
Yeah, that's gonna end up in a fucking, London Modern Tate Gallery. You know, where does he learn that? You know.
Yeah, all of a sudden the amnesia has made him into this like fucking world class painter.
It's just stupid, and he's making his performance a bit too happy. Like it's like he's on ecstasy in this film a little bit. He's like, "Oh, do you see that? No, I'm not doing anything. Come over. Wow." It's like, okay, James Franco, okay, I get it. But I don't know. It's like the film can't focus because it's got too many characters to worry about. Like it's keep cutting back and forth, and then characters we don't see for a long time with them reappear, and then like Sandman and Harry, they just kind of get sidelined, and then they don't, and then Venom gets sidelined as well. There's just there is just unfortunately too much going on in this film.
Yeah. Buy me pizza sometime.
Yeah, it's nice actually that him and his landlord start getting along in this film, because in the second one he didn't really. He thought he was a bit of a dick. So yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Hi, Pete. Your business, you stupid bitch.
And then she goes to Harry. See, that's the thing. In a way, you feel sorry for MJ, but at the same time, she brought this on herself. She chose to go to Harry, and then he made the move on her, and then, yeah. So in a way, she kind of, like, what is it with her and men? Like, Jesus Christ.
This is the bit where she makes omelets.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, but what is the point of this scene? I mean, it's amusing, I guess, but it doesn't add anything to the story. It's just a stupid moment when they start dancing. Well,
Yeah.
sure, the movie's allowed to be silly and goofy, but this film tries to go a bit darker than the first two. So scenes like this
This
just
is
yeah, scenes like this just feel out of place to me.
them dancing and making fucking omelets. What the hell? Is this Spider-Man or is this Ready Steady Cook?
Yeah, or both. He can't even make a good omelet because he fucking drops half of it.
Yeah. Whoops.
There's not even enough filling on there. You should put more peppers and onions and stuff on there.
What an idiot. Fucking moron. Can't even flip a pancake.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I know it's meant to be a nice moment of light relief, but the dancing, like, the dancing was unnecessary. I mean, there's 3 dance scenes in this film. It's a bit overzealous, I think.
Yeah. Are you in the bit where she said there's not even a scar?
Yeah. She's such a whore.
Oh, God. She is. Who are you in love with, Peter or Harry?
I don't get this.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I felt sorry for her in the first half of this movie, but like after that, like she can't make up her mind. She doesn't know which man she wants in her life. You know, she goes through about 4 or 5 men in this trilogy. It's ridiculous.
I think that was kind of revenge for the whole Peter thing, and then she realized, hold on, I can't like cheat on him, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, not so much that. I suppose, you know, she didn't want to give Harry like false hope or anything.
Yeah, this scene's weird.
Like, I don't get
Somebody
it.
gets a vision of his dad again.
Yeah, and then he gets his memory back. What the fuck? Like, how the hell does that work? He just suddenly remembers his dad, and then is it like the effect of the gas finally taking hold that gives him his memory back?
Yeah. Avenge me!
Yeah. Wish I could remember more about him.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, Raimi. It doesn't make any sense how he gets his memory back.
Yeah.
Yes, Father. I was right about Peter.
I mean, the one good thing about it is at least James Franco's performance starts to get a bit better.
Make him suffer. Make him wish. First, we attack his heart.
Yes. Funnily enough, you could say Willem Dafoe's in the whole trilogy, because he is. He's in this, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. So.
Yeah. So is Cliff Robertson, actually, as Uncle Ben. He has flashbacks in Spider-Man 2 and 3. So, yeah, everybody features in the whole trilogy somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, God. This is where, like, the
Oh,
film's...
shit.
This is where the film's dragging a bit now. I think the love triangle stuff starts to take over.
Why would he do this, though, to Mary Jane? I mean, Mary Jane's innocent, you know. Leave her alone. I mean, I get it. You've got a beef with Peter, but, you know, don't take this out on Mary Jane. She's supposed to be your friend.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. He wants revenge because he thinks Peter killed his dad, so he's using Mary Jane to sabotage what Peter and her have. I mean, I suppose he feels a bit bad, well, for her, but at the same time, he wants Peter to suffer. And to be fair, you know, Peter kind of deserves it in a way because he did treat Mary Jane like crap, and the fact that he kissed Gwen, you know, so she has every motive to dump him, but she clearly doesn't want to. So this is where I think the film gets really lost with the love triangle stuff. Like, I don't know if they really know if Mary Jane. Like, the fact is, at the end of the film, we don't know the future of their relationship. we don't know if Peter and Mary Jane actually married or they stayed together. Presumably they got back together, but I don't know. It's never really made clear.
This scene is a bit cringy when he starts crying.
She's sort of hamming it up a bit. Like obviously she's acting and she's pretending to cry and say, look, we're not working and stuff. Like, yeah.
It's just when Peter starts crying, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
What?
Please don't say that.
I don't.
That's the thing. There is elements of truth in what she says, but she's having to kind of play up a bit because Harry's watching her. So.
God.
Okay, now he just looks desperate. Yeah.
There's someone else. I've fallen in love with someone.
Do you think he believes her when she says that she's fallen in love with someone else?
Maybe, yeah.
How did Peter not see him there? He's standing there the whole time.
Harry's a dick.
Honestly, James Franco's just better when he's playing evil Harry. Like, obviously Harry in the second and first, but when he plays amnesia Harry, that's when he's not very good.
Yeah. No, I like James Franco in the trilogy, but sometimes he either underacts it or overdoes it.
Yeah. Like, I think he underacts in the first movie quite a bit.
Yeah, the bit where he's talking to his dad, like, oh, you know, Mary Jane, she's in love with Peter. It's kind of laughable. He just underacts it so much. Like,
yeah.
It's like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe overacts quite a lot, but he gets away with it because that's the character, you know.
She was fired. She was fired. She didn't tell me.
I think this scene drags a bit. Ugh. I don't know, like, why.
I do think Spider-Man 3 is. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. You first.
I do think Spider-Man 3 is a bit too long, at like 2 hours and 21 minutes. I don't think it needs to be that long, but. Yeah.
I absolutely agree, because this section of the film is dragging now. This whole love triangle stuff, I don't know why the film takes like at least 20 minutes to kind of like go over some of it, like with Peter, MJ, and Harry. It's honestly not the most interesting part of the movie. I would have rather they focused on, say, Eddie Brock or Sandman or another character. Like, and again, the way Harry gets his memory back, I'm sorry, it's just stupid. Like,
God, that was the way he said that was just so funny. How's the pie? So good.
I mean, what the hell? He just gives him the wink and then disappears. Like,
The fuck is he Batman? That's what I want to fucking know.
What did he use? His fucking, explosive gas to like disappear? Can he turn invisible now? I mean, jeez.
Sorry, but just that look on Tobey Maguire's face.
He does have a bit of a baby face, doesn't he? And when he looks angry, it does look a bit laughable.
Yeah. Tropic Thunder. Tobey Maguire, winner of MTV's Best Kisser Award.
I've not seen that film for years.
Funny film, Tropic Thunder.
Like a drink?
I mean, it's good to see tension between Peter and Harry, but they really shouldn't be focusing on the love triangle. Like, if you want tension between these two, you know, make it more about the fact that he thinks he killed his father. You know, it's honestly kind of dull. I mean, this fight scene is great. Don't get me wrong; it's a good fight scene. It's brutal, but it's not focused on the right thing.
Strawberries. Lol.
Cheesy line.
Yeah.
Strawberries. It's like Goldeneye when Sean Bean says, "No, she tastes like strawberries."
I'll just say to Harry, look, for fuck's sake, I didn't kill your dad. You know?
Yeah. I love that intense close-up of his eye just before the blade is about to hit him.
Yeah. I like the music here. That's quite good.
Mm.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, you got it. It's pretty brutal, this fight.
Hey, protected you in high school. Now I'm gonna kick your little ass.
Kick your little ass.
Ooh.
What's this track called?
I don't actually know what it's called, you know.
It's actually probably my favorite track of the film. Whoa.
I love the fact that there's actually blood. Like Harry's like his mouth is bleeding and stuff.
Yeah.
It would have been good if maybe some of the fights in this film were just as brutal as this, because I mean they were trying to go dark for some of the parts.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Although tonally they do get a bit confused with some of the campier moments, like the dancing.
You took it from me. You left me. I despised you. You were an embarrassment to him.
Oh shit. He wouldn't be saying this if he didn't have the fucking black suit.
Yeah.
Little Goblin Jr.
Such a cheesy line, but only Tobey Maguire could make it so good.
Oh Jesus. He should not have thrown it back.
Yeah. Peter actually really is quite unlikable in this film. He hurts nearly everyone.
Yeah. It's that black suit. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Oh God. He thinks he's like fucking. He thinks he's like a sex magnet or something.
Yeah.
But he's really not.
This is where it gets a little ridiculous with him dancing. I mean, yeah, okay, I can see what Raimi was trying to do, but it does come across as a bit over the top.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. Oh yeah, Eddie. We haven't seen him for like an hour.
Photoshop the image.
Yeah. The film is so unfocused with characters. Oh god.
I never thought he'd really do that. It's funny you should say that. I was looking through some old photos and it looks very similar.
Trash Brock.
What do you give a guy?
Boy Scout.
Whoa.
You want forgiveness? Your religion.
Get religion.
Yeah, no, it was horsing around. I will lose everything. There's not a paper in town. You should have thought of that earlier.
Oh dear.
Although saying that, he is doing the right thing because like fucking Brock is, you know, trying to stitch up Spider-Man as some kind of bastard.
Yeah, and he's just trying to do it as well, obviously, to keep his job and trying to cut corners with his job.
You're fired.
You're fired.
That's the most satisfying, you're fired line
Yeah.
that he gives in the trilogy.
God, here we come.
I
The
got this.
drive your funky soul.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, need we remind the audience this is a Spider-Man movie. Raimi forgot to remind the audience that.
Chemistry is not unlike writing meteorites like 70s.
Now what, Parker?
And cookies.
Parker?
I forgot to mention Dr. Connors. It's nice to see him back in the film, and he gets a bit more to do. But it's a shame that we never got a fourth movie because he could have become the Lizard.
Get on up.
Peter, you penny, did you?
I have some
Yeah.
Go on. You got a whole fucking plate of cookies there, you greedy bastard.
Oh my God. It's just...
Dun, dun,
It's Tobey Maguire, trying to act cool. Oh God.
Oh God, I'd love to shoot you sometime. God.
I mean, it's funny,
Oh.
but it's for the wrong
Oh,
reason.
look.
For the position I hired you for.
I'll pay the usual rate.
If you want the shots, I'll take a staff job.
Oh.
The way he just kind of puts his legs on the desk. Jameson's like, what the fuck?
Look at that. Yeah. God, here we go. Get on up.
Oh God.
Get up. Daddy.
I got to give him this. Tobey Maguire, he is a good dancer. I'll give him credit where it's due. And he was only taking direction.
Your parody of this in your sketch was hilarious.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, basically, I just chose to do a dance-off sketch because there's a lot of dancing in this movie. So. Okay, so after that,
He looks just his costume change. He looks like a tool, like a real tool.
yeah, Spider Pimp,
Oh, God.
Spider Pimp, Spider Pimp. We'll go round with a gimp.
Spider emo.
Oh, CGI. Oh, Raimi, you're better than this. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not very good.
Well, I don't blame Raimi. I blame the guy that did the visual effects. It is shit, but
Yeah. It's just like, it feels like they couldn't get to the last few effects before they delivered the film, which is a shame. And yes,
yeah.
we're really going to dig this joint. So after that first dancing scene, we don't get long before we get the next one.
God, I agree with you. The first one's fine, but this one, take on this, it's just a bit much.
Yeah, I mean, even the omelet one with Harry and MJ was pointless. You didn't need that. You didn't need the jazz club. Just have the one where he goes down the street, because that was funny.
so cool.
This is actually
Yeah.
I mean, it is funny, but this is cringy and it's totally not necessary. This is self-indulgent, and this should not have been in the movie. And the fact that they go to the same club as Mary Jane, God's sake.
Oh God. No, take on this. Oh God, the way he just whispers in her ear, he's like a fucking man whore.
Thanks, Hudlex. Gosh, it's because you watch Tobey Maguire. This guy, he's a nerd. He's not supposed to be doing this. It's oh God.
The fucking stupid haircut he's got. It's like, I'm sorry, but this guy would not be like fucking pussy magnet,
Yeah. I mean, Gwen, went on a date with Eddie, and now she's on a date with Peter. Like, there's too much going on with this love triangle. Oh my God.
God. When he plays the fucking piano, it's just so embarrassing.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, yeah.
This is for you.
I wonder if he played this like in
Double time.
And double time.
God.
Can I just confirm? Are we actually watching Spider-Man 3, or are we watching like Saturday Night Fever? You know, that's what it feels like.
Saturday Night Spidey.
Yeah, and Spidey Night Fever. What was with that shot with Gwen?
Gee.
Like she was impressed when he took his jacket off.
The fuck is this? That take on.
Tobey Maguire. He's brilliant at what he does.
Oh, the fucking music as well, like.
I mean, the fact is, this is such a horrible thing to do because he does it to spit in Mary Jane's face. But there are other. You could have done this like without the dancing scene. You could have just had him go up to her, and they could have just talked, and then he could have said, what's wrong with you and you, and then they get into the argument rather than the dance, because the dance is totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all for her.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he? What the fuck is he doing?
Yeah. At least Gwen has the decency to say, "I'm sorry," and she walks out. She's actually she's a good person. Yeah, he was a dick there.
Yeah, but what is he trying to do? Is he trying to piss off Mary Jane? Is he trying to impress Gwen? Like he's like, "Oh, this is for you." It's like, what the fuck is he trying to do?
I don't know. He's either trying to impress her or he's trying to piss her off, like trying to get her back for what happened with her and Harry. Oh, I don't know.
Everything okay here? Yeah. Everything okay here, Paul? Take a look. Take your hand off from me. Now.
Oh shit!
He's so aggressive.
The psycho. Oh shit!
And he actually hits Mary Jane, which is fucking wrong.
Yeah, hit a woman. Jesus.
See, the whole film should have been about him wrestling with this symbiote and his demons, but because then this moment would have been more impactful. The fact that he's like, I've got to get rid of this shit. What the hell have I done? But no, the film is kind of unfocused, which is a shame. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't entertaining, but it's just too many plot threads, too many characters. Like
It's overstuffed.
It's overstuffed completely. But I love this idea of the black suit. That's the trouble. It's great ideas, but Raimi and the studio threw too much into it, and I feel sorry for Raimi for when he was making it.
I think if he was given more creative control, Spider-Man 3 could have probably turned out better than it was. I mean, yeah, I still like Spider-Man 3. There's still a good film, but it is a bit messy.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's good enough. It'll do. It's got some great things in it, as you say, but for me, not as polished as the first two, which is a real shame.
Yeah. I do think it is a bit long as well.
Yeah.
We've still got 40 minutes left, and it really did not need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, it is dragging quite a bit. It does drag on a few occasions. And I mean, I don't get this scene. Like, okay, yeah, Eddie Brock doesn't like Peter because he made him lose his job, and then he tried to steal Gwen, and then he's like, but the fact that he would ask God to kill him, like, what? I mean, it doesn't really work like that, Eddie, I'm afraid.
want you to kill Peter. I want you to
It doesn't make any sense as well. Like, he goes to church, and it's like, have you fucking read the Bible? You know, God would not fucking say, you know, yeah, sure, okay, you want Peter Parker to get killed, I'll kill him for you, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that he stumbles across Peter taking the suit off by accident, you know, like, you could have found a more interesting way for him to become Venom. And look, we are nearly 1 hour 43 minutes into the film, and he's only just becoming Venom. That's too late into the film.
Yeah, I agree. Venom really feels like an afterthought in this film.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the studio said to Raimi while he was filming, like, can you just throw Venom in there? The fans will want to see Venom, you know. But, yeah, I mean, that's what it feels like to me, anyway.
Well, one thing I want to know is, how the fuck can he see that it's Peter from all the way the fuck up there? Like, he must have incredible fucking eyesight.
Yeah, especially with the big bell hanging down there as well.
Oh, Peter's naked?
Yeah. Well, we don't see all 8 of his legs.
Attaching itself to Eddie.
It's kind of disgusting when it goes into his mouth.
Yeah. I like being evil.
The fact that he just kind of is able to know what to do and sort of control it very easily it's very quick, isn't it? With Eddie.
Well, I don't know. Like, did he rip his suit off, or because it just looked like the black stuff was coming off?
Well, we saw him in the church ripping the suit, and all of the symbiote trailed down to Eddie. Now he's just having a shower just because he wants to. So I mean, at least Peter does actually realize what he's done, and he does actually have some guilt, and he just, he knows he's done wrong. But the fact that we never see him apologize to MJ is very, it's a shame.
It's funny that the doorknob came off.
Yeah.
It's like shit his apartment.
The other one. This is actually Rosemary Harris's last scene in the trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she turns up for Harry's funeral, but this is her last scene with dialogue.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame it's their last scene.
Yeah, she's been great in this film.
Yeah. Is she still alive, Rosemary Harris?
I think she is, yeah.
You said the husband's got to put lights on the Not ready.
Oh.
It's very sad that he feels he can't do it because he's mistreated her.
It's a really nice scene, actually, because, yeah, like you said, he's realised that he's been an arsehole and he's treated her badly, and
yeah, and I like that. He says, "I've hurt her. I don't know what to do." This film has emotional depth, and that's what's great about it is the emotion and the struggles with the main characters. And I mean, yes, it's overstuffed, but I think people that hate the film don't realize that this film does have its heart in the right place. That's one thing that Raimi never loses when he made this film. So that's why I say it's a decent ending to the trilogy.
Agreed. A bit long, but yeah.
And I like that moment when she says, "I know you're a good person and you're going to make it right in time." And she leaves the ring there, which I think is lovely. And that she no, she's not his mum, and she's the closest thing to his mum, and she would trust him to do the right thing. And Peter's still trying to learn his lessons.
Then he finds Sandman finds Venom.
Just the voice, it doesn't work. It's just Topher Grace. It was a miscast.
Not only that, but he just seems to accept being Venom just so quickly, you know.
Yeah. That's the thing. They leave it too late to introduce him.
Like, give me Tom Hardy any day over fucking Topher Grace.
Yeah. And the fact that Sandman just accepts to team up with him so easily, like, I guess I could understand from Sandman's point of view. I mean, they both have motivations, but it just feels very quick. It's like, okay, we have to get to the climax now. They sort of rush to get to the end, and it just doesn't flow naturally. That's the thing with Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. There's Mary Jane.
Yeah, they've both been through a lot over these 3 films.
Where to?
Oh god. There's Venom.
Yeah. How did he know where she lived? Like, how did he know to go to a taxi company and get the taxi to go and get her? That's a bit convenient.
He must have stole a taxi off somebody.
Probably, yeah. He doesn't even know Mary.
Well, we're at the yeah. We're at the finale now, and yeah, they've waited too long to introduce Venom. Only now, really, at the finale has he been introduced.
Yeah, I mean, Venom's an awesome character. He's a fantastic creation in the comics. He's like Spider-Man's arch nemesis, and yeah, they haven't done him the service he deserves. I mean, it's not Raimi's fault. It isn't Raimi's fault. It's Sony. They're stupid. Stupidly trying to force him into the film.
Yeah. They should have just left Venom out of this film and done him for the next film, Spider-Man 4, or if they ever got around to doing a Spider-Man 5, they could have done Venom.
I do agree. I think if things had worked out better for Spider-Man 3, I think Raimi would have considered to do another couple of more films. Yeah.
Spider-Man, stop us if you can.
Again, Mary Jane needs to be saved. Again. It's getting a bit repetitive, Raimi, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. For once, well, suppose they're like, oh, well, he loves Mary Jane. It's,
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Physically scarred.
Yeah, I know he realizes that he's done wrong, but he really should apologize. He should say, I'm really sorry for all of that. And yeah, no. He's like, but no, Mary Jane just needs us. But yeah.
Physically scarred him like that.
Yeah. I think that, it would have been better for James Franco to have delivered that line much more aggressively. Like, if he shouted, "Get out," I think that would have been better. If Raimi had told him to shout the line. But, yeah.
Oh, God, the fucking butler.
This is dumb. This is really dumb. I'm sorry, Raimi, but why did the butler leave it till this long? Fair enough. If he'd have said it earlier and Harry didn't believe him, fine, and then saying it to him again there, but it doesn't work.
I know you're trying to defend your honor. No question.
You waited this fucking long?
I love
Yeah, till Harry had his face scarred and Peter beat him up. You know, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. You would have fucking fired him by now.
Yeah,
Like, if that butler had told him this earlier, he would have probably avoided being physically scarred like that because of the
Yeah.
fucking whole conflict with Peter.
yeah, exactly.
Fucking idiot.
So he should have said, so you waited till me and Peter had a fight and he physically scarred me. You're fired. You're fired.
Yeah, it is kind of dumb. It's like, what, you wait that fucking long,
Yeah.
Oh.
Again, this is coming from someone who likes this film. Like, I think this is an entertaining film, but the storytelling is a bit all over the place. I mean, if that scene was earlier in the movie, I'd sort of understand. I mean, if they hadn't have given Harry the amnesia, maybe if the fight happened with Peter and Harry happened a bit earlier, then again, Peter had tried to tell him, but he didn't listen. So it would have been better to have it earlier in the film. But yeah, he does leave it till at the fucking end of the movie.
He seems to have come out of nowhere to answer the prayers of the city, just when all hope seems to be lost.
British or something. I'm surprised that she's in like an American broadcasting thing.
I'm gonna get you out of this.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brits can live in America. But maybe she's just been sent there from the UK to cover the story.
Hey, Parker.
Oh God.
Oh, my spider sense is tingling. If you know
Oh
what
God.
Oh,
Oh,
such a cheesy line.
fucking Venom.
I mean, that's
Just
actually
get
fucking
in
enough.
this
The only time they use that line, my spider sense is tingling. Like,
find a way to settle this. You're so right. I'm thinking humiliation.
I mean, I wish he would just keep his mask on for once.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did to me?
God.
Like he's telling him off.
All this because you got fucking fired.
Yeah.
Idiot.
I mean, Eddie was in the wrong because he fucking photoshopped that image and he abused his position.
How's that sound, Tiger?
How's that sound, Tiger?
Tiger.
Oh, finally, Mary Jane does.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck you, Venom.
Yeah, there's a bit of rubber in this CGI.
Yeah. That's the thing, like... I think the CGI got worse for Spider-Man 3. I don't know, but... Yeah. I mean, he looks like a rubber Tobey Maguire. It looks so fake.
Yeah.
Like the face and everything, the CGI, but...
Yeah. It is a bit of a shame. I mean, because the effects won an Oscar for the second film.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
She actually helped
Wow.
us.
That was fucking lucky.
And now he puts his mask on. Oh, that's good.
There's the Sandman. The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, incredible sulk. How does he become a
What's
giant?
better than Ang Lee's Hulk?
This
He's
final,
stuck.
this final battle is quite long, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We haven't even got to the part when Harry turns up yet.
I do think they could have trimmed down Spider-Man 3.
I think it's at least 20 minutes too long. Yeah, it could have lost, or at least 10 minutes.
Tom said, "Can you please comment on the Amazing Spider-Man films next?"
Possibly. I don't own the movies, so I'd have to find a way of watching them.
Yeah. Maybe they're on Netflix.
If they're on Netflix, then maybe, Sam. But I can't promise anything. And it would be an audio rant commentary
Yeah, that's the thing.
for both.
I don't really want to rewatch the Amazing Spider-Man, but
Well, we can do the Tom Holland movies.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, we could do that.
But it was nice to revisit the trilogy.
Ooh.
Oh?
He's all son.
Mr. Sandman, bring me your dream. Bum, 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 bum.
I like being evil.
Nice.
That's such a shit line. Later on, I like being evil.
It makes me happy. That's the thing. I like Venom's design in the movie. He looks great.
Okay.
I do like this. You know, he decides to help him.
Yeah.
He's his friend, you know.
A couple minutes ago wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Surely Peter's like, well, hang on, what happened? And he could have said, oh yeah, my butler told me the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, my butler, he should have told me fucking years ago.
But yeah, no, Harry just turns up and says, hi Peter, here to help. But whatever, I'll go with it.
I mean, if I was Harry, I'd take my revenge out on the fucking butler. Oh, this scene is so funny where he takes the camera off the kid.
$100.
$100.
Crook.
Parker.
Film's extra.
That's like the last moment he gets in the trilogy. It's sad. J. Jonah Jameson.
Good moment to end on, though. Funny moment. I wonder if the J. Jonah Jameson and the Spider-Man Far From Home is the same characters in the Raimi trilogy, but
Well, I mean, they are in a different universe, so I don't know. But, I mean, it's definitely the same character.
yeah.
It's funny. Spider-Man 3, I could never hate it because it was part of the experience of the other two. I see it as kind of one sort of narrative. And I grew up with these movies, so I'll always have affection for them. Even this one, which is the most flawed. But,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the Superman 3, the original Spider-Man films, but yeah.
yeah. I think it's better than Superman 3, personally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like Superman 3, but yeah, I prefer Spider-Man 3.
There is a lot of entertaining action in this film, so I'll give it that.
Uh-oh. Ooh. Mr. Sandman.
Bring me your dream. Bum, 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 bum. He's always
Yeah,
damaged.
interesting that. Yeah, his like suit's all damaged. Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh shit! That wreck.
it's funny. Why could Peter never do that? Like the symbiote formed across his face to make a mask, but he couldn't just detach it and reattach it like Venom can.
What it feels like. It feels good. Good power. But you'll lose yourself. Go. I like being there.
I like being bad. Oh god, it makes me happy. God. There's good old Harry to the rescue.
You're a goblin, Harry. I'm a what? Oh, that's how
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah. Dial it in, amp it up.
Yeah. Now he remembers how he got rid of it. The sound of the bell. Ooh.
Oh shit! Oh, oh, Harry.
That's the way he said it. Harry!
And why did he wait until Venom threw him? Why did he
Yeah.
say it then when he was stabbed?
He should have, yeah, he could have broken free a bit sooner, couldn't he? To be fair, this final battle is pretty great, but the tension of the train fight from the second film isn't here. I mean, that scene was just amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it's causing a lot of sound. He takes him away from the symbiote.
It's funny, like how many of the villains actually commit suicide in the series.
I mean, like, why would you want to? Why would you want to be part of that fucking disgusting alien thing? Like, he's like, "Oh no, I need that. The suit, I need it."
Yeah.
Lets
the
himself
trouble.
die.
Eddie was addicted to it.
Yeah.
So that's like the third villain that's killed themselves this time.
Yeah.
Because you had the Green Goblin in the first one, then Doc Ock in the second one, and now Eddie, Venom in the third one.
Dems to breaks. Why the fuck is Harry still alive?
He shouldn't have survived that fall, really. I mean, he fell from a good couple of stories, didn't he?
Not only that, but he was stabbed like right through his fucking chest. He would be dead.
Mm.
It was a good scene.
Yeah. There's no resolution with his daughter, though. That's the only downside.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do it. I needed money.
I think they probably would explain what happened in Spider-Man 4, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a rumor they might have brought him back, but it's nice that he did explain what happened, and he was like, he's sort of been living with the guilt of killing him for a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, this is a good scene. Yeah.
No, I mean, some people would choose to see the fact that he killed him by accident as a cop out, but I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of works. I mean, it shows that he's not a bad person, and it was genuinely an accident, but he's still pretty guilty. He still feels quite guilty about it.
Yeah. Sorry. That was a good scene. Very well done. This is probably my favorite scene in the film.
Yeah, I think that Thomas Hayden Church, who plays Sandman here, he's probably gives his best performance in this particular scene. It's his best moment in the film, I think.
Yeah. I like that Peter forgives him.
He does. I mean, it shows that Peter's moved on from his uncle's death and he's accepted it, and he now understands that, it was an accident, and the death wasn't malicious, it wasn't intentional, and Sandman was just trying to help his daughter. So it's a lovely moment.
It lets him go. Yeah.
Some beautiful performances across this trilogy. There really are. I mean, the drama in these movies is fantastic. Even in this one, this is probably the most emotional scene of the film. It's just really well done.
I like the way he just kind of fades away into the dust, and then leaves into the sand, and then just goes away.
Yeah, I just would have liked to have known if he did actually help his daughter, but it's only a minor thing, I suppose. But it does feel like he has his own story sort of unresolved. But it's nice that they tied up the Uncle Ben part of the plot.
I really like this scene as well, where he's there for Harry, just as he dies.
It's very sad. It's nicely done, Harry's death. I mean, and they do actually say sorry, and they forgive each other for everything that's happened. And yeah, he dies. He saved his best friend.
I mean, people say Spider-Man 3 shit. I mean, watch this scene or watch the scene of Sandman. There's actually a lot of depth to the movie. I mean, yes, it's flawed, but it's much better than people make out. And I'd take it over the amazing shit fests any day.
Oh, I love that when he says, "You're my friend, my best friend."
Yeah. Oh, it's really sad.
It's even more sad the fact that we followed these characters for 3 movies, and it's a tragic way to end the trilogy. Really, I mean, yeah, they could have carried on with the 4th one, but without James Franco, it would have been an interesting dynamic to not have him in it. But I like the ending of this film. It's very sad and bittersweet, and Raimi, he knows how to work the emotions into the film.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that all 3 Spider-Man films end on a funeral?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, the second one doesn't. The second one ends with sort of a wedding, but not really.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, sorry, but doesn't the second one have a funeral? I don't know, but yeah.
No, because do you remember MJ ditches a guy at the wedding, goes to Peter's apartment?
Yeah. No, but it's interesting how it ends similar to the first one, where they had a funeral.
Yeah.
Which is the graveyard, whatever. Yeah.
It's this. I think it's the saddest funeral scene of the Spider-Man series.
Yeah, because it was his best friend, and
this scene is a beautiful way to end the film. The fact they don't have Peter swinging off at the end is good, and they have her singing, and there's no dialogue. He just comes in, takes a hand, they start swaying. It's a lovely moment. It's very sad, very, very sad indeed.
even though they were going to make a 4th one, I think this is kind of the perfect way to end the trilogy with them sort of
Yeah,
dancing together. Sort of
yeah,
a tender way to end the trilogy, but
yeah. I mean, I won't say the whole film is perfect, but certainly this scene at the end is perfect, and it's very emotional.
yeah. It's a perfect sort of tender scene to end the film and the trilogy.
Yeah,
It was a perfect way to end it, I think. The
I
trilogy.
agree. I mean, and the music is beautiful as well. It really is, and it's been an interesting ride seeing, following this trilogy, seeing these characters, and it was, I guess that's the tragedy of Spider-Man, is that he's gonna lose those people that are closest to him.
At the time, I didn't know the third one was going to be the last one, but I kind of had a feeling it would be, seeing this scene in the cinema.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they did Spidey 4, though. I mean, it's such a shame we got the amazing fucking shit man film, but yeah.
yeah. I like Fade
That's
Out.
where they end.
Very, very sort of, you like you say, tender and sweet, and I like that the music continues into the credits, and I do wish this music carried on all the way through instead of that stupid pop song, but still.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was Spider-Man 3. And I think the general consensus from me is it's a very mixed bag, but overall it's good. It's nowhere near as good as the first two for me, but it's good enough. I like
Yeah.
the ending. It's very sad. I mean, I'll let you give your summary on it first. I mean, what are your sort of initial thoughts on Spider-Man 3?
Well, I mean, it goes without saying it's the weakest of the trilogy, but I think there's still good things in there. I mean, people who shit on it and say it's awful, it's like terrible. I mean, I really think they're being far too harsh on it. I do think there's good drama in there, like the whole stuff with Peter and Mary Jane, and Peter sort of getting the suit and then sort of realizing the error of his ways because the suit's changed him, and I like the stuff with Harry as well. I mean, the amnesia stuff, you don't really need that, but I do like it at the end, where he comes back to help Peter fight off the Sandman and Venom, and then he sort of sacrifices himself. That's good. I mean, the flaws would be, I do think it's too long, 2 hours and 20 minutes. It didn't need to be that long. I would have cut it
Yeah,
down to 2 hours. There was about 20 minutes you could have shaved off.
yeah,
I think it is a bit too overstuffed. I mean, have Sandman and Harry, that's fine, but when you add in Venom there, and it just feels a very overstuffed movie. Like they're trying to cram in so much.
yeah. And also Gwen Stacy is in it for some reason.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I think I think some of the comedy is a little bit isn't great. Like the whole omelets, them making omelets, that was just the fuck is that about?
Yeah.
And
And I think the thing
take on this.
the three dance scenes. I mean, my God.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, and I agree with Gwen Stacy as well. I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard, she's very good looking, and but she's hardly in the film. She's I mean, after that nightclub scene, she's just gone from the movie basically, and it's like, what was kind of the point of having her in there just for a stupid love triangle thing that kind of went nowhere? And I mean, it's still a good film though. I mean, I like the stuff with Flint Marko as Sandman, and the visual effects of Sandman's great. Some CGI is a little bit rubbery here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do like the action. I do like the action. Like some of the action is pretty good, and I think James Franco's good, and there's a lot of good things going on in Spider-Man 3. I just think some of the execution could have been better, and
Yeah.
Fuck the studio for interfering with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Venom really is an afterthought in the film, but
Yes.
but it's still a good film. I'd take it over the Amazing Spider-Man films, and I would even take it over the Tom Holland Spider-Man films, which is going to shock some people because, at least it has emotional depth and there is some good stuff in there. So overall, out of 10, I'll probably give it a 8 out of 10. But yeah,
Nice. Good. Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I don't know if I can give it an 8 out of 10, but I think it is definitely the weakest of the trilogy. There's no doubt about that. But I think it's decent. There's some good stuff in there, and it really is, emotional. There's a lot of emotional depth to it. I agree. I mean, yeah, like you say, the problems are it's too long. It's overstuffed. It gets baggy in the second act, particularly with that love triangle, which takes up quite a lot of screen time for some reason. There's just way too many characters in this movie, way too much going on. You could have cut out Gwen Stacy, you could have cut out Eddie Brock. I mean, giving Harry amnesia as well, I think was kind of a bad move. I would have preferred him to not have that. It would have been more dramatic if he not lost his memory, and they could have had more of a rivalry going on in the movie, him and Peter. The Sandman's plot I like, although it is kind of unfocused. I mean, like the end of unresolved. Sorry, the end of the film. I mean, yeah, they tie up the Uncle Ben stuff, but they don't tie up the thing with his daughter, which is a problem for me. It does feel like his story was now kind of pointless in the grand scheme of things, other than the Uncle Ben stuff. Otherwise, he'd have no place in the movie. But I think Thomas Hayden Church performs really well. But the birth of Sandman scene when he rises from the crater is a beautiful scene, and it's my favorite scene in the movie. It's just so powerful, really good stuff. I think like Venom could have been taken out of the movie. That was ridiculous at the studio to force Raimi to do that. Harry's death is very sad, and of course the ending is very emotional with Harry's funeral, and then the bittersweet moment in the jazz club, which, as we just described, is extremely sad and very poignant, very beautifully done. I'm glad they didn't end the film on him swinging off, because that would have been very inappropriate. The music score is pretty good. I like the music in the film by Christopher Young. The title sequence is also quite good, but yeah, some of the CGI effects could have been cleaned up, and that's there's another moment like when Sandman gets turned into mud. Some of the CGI could have been cleaned up there, but it's a shame. I mean, yeah, there's just too much going on. It drags in the middle when they're having all these lovey-dovey triangle problems. Tobey Maguire, I think, gives a good final performance as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. Yes, the character's unlikable, but he's meant to be. He develops an ego, and he gets really cocky, and then he realizes the error of his ways. I mean, the idea of the symbiote in the black suit is brilliant, but it's not. It should have been the central focus, but it wasn't. They were trying to focus on too much, and the film did become a little bit messy. They tried to be too ambitious with Spider-Man 3, and I think that's the problem. And again, the studio interfered, which didn't help. So it's not all of Sam Raimi's fault, but Raimi did miss the mark on a few things. And as for the dancing, well, I can say that it's entertaining, but it's completely out of place on a couple of moments. I mean, the moment when he's strutting down the street singing, drive your funky soul. I mean, that's quite funny, but that was fine. But the other two scenes didn't need to be there. I didn't really care for Harry and Mary Jane making omelets and doing the twists. Like, what? Like, why was that in the film? And then, of course, the jazz club scene, which is just so indulgent. It's just so stupid. I don't know why it's in the film. But the action scenes are good. I like the fact that the film adds a bit more action into the story. That's good. Like, when Sandman and Spider-Man fight both times, that's pretty good. The fight with Peter and Harry in the house is really brutal. Really, really good. The opening fight as well in the air when Peter's gets dragged off his bike. I mean, that's really good. What else is there? Oh yeah, and there's the finale in the construction site where Sandman and Venom team up to take on Harry and Peter, and that's a really good fight. That's a really well done sequence. The film has a lot of emotional drama. I liked Rosemary Harris's Aunt May. She has some good scenes. I love her last scene when she comes to Peter's apartment and says, "I know that you will be ready in time to propose to Mary Jane because you're a good person." I think Mary Jane was written much better in this film. She's more likable. You actually feel sorry for her. You sympathize with her a lot more because of her struggles. But at the same time, she does make that stupid decision of kissing Harry just to get Peter back. It's like she can't decide which man she wants, which is annoying. But Kirsten Dunst has always given a good performance. But the fact that they have to save Mary Jane again, it does become a bit repetitive. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, Spider-Man 3 is a flawed movie. It's very flawed, but I think it's a flawed gem. I think there's a lot to appreciate about this film, and it's very emotional, and it ties up the trilogy just, I would say, nicely enough. But the story really needed some work. It really needed to focus on something. I can't tell who the main villain is. It's not clear which one of the three of them is the main villain. There's no focus on that. But J. Jonah Jameson is once again fantastic. J.K. Simmons is brilliant. The pill scene is just so damn funny. But every scene he's in, he chews up the scenery. He's just so funny, especially at the end when he gets that camera off the little girl, as you said. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man 3. I mean, also the maitre d' scene, the restaurant scene is funny as well. That's really, really good. It is the weakest of the trilogy. That's goes without saying. But I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. There's some great action, some great emotion. Music's great. It is too long. I do agree with that. And there are some great performances, some genuinely really good performances. I mean, James Franco can be a bit up and down though. When he's got the amnesia, it's a bit cringy. Like it looks like he's on fucking ecstasy and he's happy as Larry. It's a bit weird, but Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst are good. I mean, although with Tobey Maguire, it's weird because when he tries to do the acting cool thing, when he goes into his emo mode, shall we say, that is kind of embarrassingly funny for the wrong reasons.
No!
Yeah. Oh, God. I do like the flashbacks with Uncle Ben as well, the moment when Peter's having that vision of Flint Marko like killing his uncle. That's pretty powerful stuff. So there is a great movie in there. There really is, and it could have been as great as the first two had they just trimmed the fat and refined the script. It could could have done with a rewrite. But that being said, the movie we got, I won't say it's a total disaster. It is a bit of a mess, but it's an enjoyable mess. So I would give Spider-Man 3 a 7 out of 10. It's decent. It's decent, and I really like this trilogy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've done the Sam Raimi trilogy. Yeah, it's been great to rewatch these movies again, and it's brilliant. I've really enjoyed these. So thanks, Jack, and I will forever remember Sam Raimi's trilogy when he directed Spider-Man and when Tobey Maguire played the role. And for me, Tobey Maguire will always be the best Spider-Man. He will always be my favorite because I grew up with him. He's the one I just prefer. I think he nails the character the best. Tom Holland is good, don't get me wrong. I like Tom Holland. Andrew Garfield, I didn't really care for. But yeah, I mean, just sort of overall summary. I mean, out of sort of 30, I'd give the trilogy. So I gave the first one a 9, then second a 10, so that's 19. 19 had 7. I give it 26 out of 30. So that's pretty good. What about you, Jack? What would you sort of give your overall summary on the trilogy and your sort of rating out of 30?
Well, I think overall the trilogy holds up really well. And Spider-Man 3 is the weakest. I still think it's a good film, and it's a great series of films. It's a great superhero trilogy, and I love the Spider-Man films. And I think sorry.
No,
I think out of 30, I probably give it. What'd you give yours? 26?
Yeah.
Yeah. 10, a 9, it's 19, and 8. Yeah, 27 out of 30. So.
Oh yes, because you give the third one an 8. Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's it. It's a shame that they never did a fourth one. A fourth movie was planned and it was in the works, but sadly the studio were interfering once again, and they said to Sam Raimi, "If you're going to do it, we want you to get it out by 2011," because obviously Raimi was having some time off, and then Spider-Man 3 wasn't received very well. Sadly, it really wasn't, and they were uncertain about the reviews and stuff, and then Raimi was planning everything. They had some ideas that they were brainstorming, but it wasn't greenlit. And then Raimi said, "Well, no, I'm sorry, I want some time off." So, and I think he got fed up of the studio interference as well. So he just walked away. And I think Tobey Maguire then decided he was finished as well. So yeah, it's a shame Spider-Man 4 didn't happen, because there are various ideas and rumors that are thrown around about what they would have had in the film, but oh well. They decided to reboot the series with the Amazing Spider-Man. Well, they're not really that Amazing Spider-Man movies, but they cast Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, and yeah, just
He may as well be fucking Garfield.
oh god, yeah, lasagna. But yeah, it's a shame. I mean, we could talk about the reboot movies another time, but they made the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. So we could potentially talk about them at some point, but I'm not in a rush to talk about them. But thankfully now, Spider-Man is in a much better place. He's in the MCU and he's doing fine. Tom Holland is now our current Spider-Man, and I think Tom Holland's going to be around for quite some time. So, yeah. But anyway, that's kind of it, really. I've got nothing else to say. Jack, do you want to say anything before we close off?
No, just that I've enjoyed doing these audio fan commentaries, and it's a shame they never got to do Spider-Man 4, and I think Sam Raimi said he sort of still thinks about it to this day, about doing Spider-Man 4, and he sort of regrets not doing it, but yeah, I mean, I kind of wish he did get to do it, but unfortunately it never came to pass.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I'm sure, I mean, anybody would probably regret it, but I guess he was just in a bit of a bad place at that time. He didn't have a good time making Spider-Man 3, I don't think, and it wasn't well received. So I guess he thought, well, that was it. There was no point carrying on. You know, if people really felt that way about the third film, then there we go. But yeah, no, we have a trilogy, so that's something. I mean, it's the Amazing Spider-Man only has 2 films, but this has 3, so we've got that to shout out. And yeah,
at least he did more films than Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, there's a meme actually online which is Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield next to each other, and he's like, "Hello, at least I made it to a trilogy," which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Like he gets a text like, "Lol, at least I made it to a trilogy." Yeah,
at least I made it to a trilogy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really miss Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, but he'll always be my Spider-Man. I mean, yeah, I grew up with his movies, but yeah, that's that. So thank you all very much for listening and watching. We hope you enjoyed. What do you think of Spider-Man 3? Please comment down below. Let me know, how would you rank the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and what's your favorite? So yeah, thank you all very much, and thank you, Jack, for joining me. And until next time, see you soon. Okay.